Alright, I have 23 mana. We should be able to do this, though.
Alright, I'll root the one in the middle.
I'll root the one on the left.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Game over. We win.
Let's see. As for the racing classes, I was thinking of a Scar Shaman, or maybe making something out of the Dark Mire. I mean, I like both of those races. Shaman, though, dude. I can never wrap my brain around playing a Shaman. Super Bits and Bob, that's where I'm looking forward to watching his videos, because I know he's going to play a Shaman.
I was actually, I was doing a video before he talked to me or sent me a message, and I was actually saying that in a video. I said, you'll see more videos of my Shaman, but if you actually want to see videos about how to play a Shaman correctly, or little nuances, Super Bits and Bob's has a plethora of information that he already has on his channel. Go and watch that. But if you want to see me solo or group, or just see me level this character through time, then that's what I'm here for. I mean, I'm not gonna bring up things that I clearly have no information about, and Super Bits and Bob's has already said it.
Right. It makes me wonder, though, if he's gonna like the new class as the way they have changed everything. Now, they haven't specified too much on the shamans, have they? Have you heard like how they work? What's the difference between our shamans and the way they're gonna work over there?
Well, they really haven't talked about that so much, but they have talked about the how they're the same. As far as they have regeneration is their main tool over heals, but they have heals. Also, they have slows. It's like that's their main thing, is slowing. And they have a pet still, so that's something that they can get. I will not know what class I want to play probably until either release until all classes are available to us, to be honest. But that gives me the ability that whenever they get to the point of release, I will know what I'm going to level and only play until I get to the max level.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna stay with one tune all the way to the very end, rather than kind of spread out your love to multiple tunes and never quite get there.
Once the game is in what they call released mode, yes.
But before that, you're gonna try all of them out.
I'm gonna try every class. I mean, even if I can only play them for maybe one day, I'll get some kind of idea of how each one works, what their mechanics are, and then I will take it from there and decide where I want to go with it. Because honestly, I would love to be a Shadow Knight, or even a Shaman, or something along those lines. That said, if they do the Bard right, you know that I'm gonna fall in love with the Bard.
That was not quite in the game yet, I don't think. But Koo, for you, when you said you wanted to play a Shaman, what kind of drew you to that? Is it more of what Cypher was talking about, the similarities between the way Shamans work on our server or Everquest Classic? I kind of hate calling it that because it sounds like Coca-Cola or something, but
just P99.
P99. Well, you know, because it's not like P99 is one, and like Classic Everquest is something else.
Yeah. I mean, we are as close to Classic as you can get, seeing that there is no actual Classic server anymore. Pop.
Right. There could. Oh, I got 2 on me already.
Sorry. Well, I can't do anything about it. It popped on me.
Let me see if I can root some of these things in. One of them was a warrior.
This one's already at 75%. And I will slow your mob if you want to just finish working on that one.
Yep.
And you're low on health.
And I'm low on mana too. I'm only at 13%, so
I'm at 8%, but I can heal.
I can heal a little bit.
Let me make sure I put my heal spell on. This guy's sled, though. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on him.
Let's see. To be honest, I don't really have any idea yet either what class I'm going to end up playing. I just know that for now, I really like the aesthetics of the Scar and the Dark Mirror. And I'm just trying to brainstorm something to make out of those two races. I think Shamans would be fine, too. I was just saying from my own point of view, on this one.
All right, let's back up a second.
I have never been able to fully embrace the Shaman. I always kind of treat him as a cleric. Maybe that's just, me playing a cleric way, way too much. But they have amazing abilities in this game. If you watch ZK and you can see the things that he's been able to do with that tune, if they ever give half of those abilities to the guys in Pantheon, shamans, if they get half of those abilities, it's still going to be an amazing class to play, and probably one of the best soloers in the game.
Well, one of the things that they were talking about is that while soloing is a possibility, it is going to be much harder to solo, and you can see that just by how long it's taking them to kill mobs at their current level. But the one thing I would like to see is code just be told that you can get on and you're going to be doing a solo run through this time, just so you can see how hard or easy it is, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't want to show that off just yet, but no, they said that soloing is capable of being done, just not so much in the dungeons unless you've already leveled the creatures there. Or he even kind of backtracked and he said some classes might be able to do it at level. So some classes are still going to be able to go into dungeons and do them by themselves. If, again, you're playing the right class, you probably have the right gear, and, of course, you've gotten the right spells and you know what you're doing. That's all those things combined, create that Captain Planet or whatever. But you gotta have all of it. Otherwise, you're gonna just basically get your face wrecked in there. But outside the dungeon, you're gonna be able to solo probably a little bit easier, just like you do in this game, where there's gonna be, that Cobalt Scar or Dreadlands, the places that people love to go because it's wide open and there's few and far in between mobs here and there.
Well, I kind of want them to make names very, very hard for someone to solo. I mean, if you looked at the names that they were doing, I don't know about the live stream tonight, but the one in Ko's video, the damage types that they were doing and the effects that they were doing during those fights were just devastating to the group. To the point where it took them 4 times before they were even able to get the 2 ads dead so that they could concentrate on the main mob.
Right. They did have I know which fight you're talking about, the one where they opened that door that was locked. That was, I think, mainly to do with levels, because they went back to that area tonight with like 6 levels gained on them, and they were able to wipe the floor with it fairly easy. But when they got to a certain area in the game, I forgot what the name of the creatures are, they wiped like 8, maybe 9 times.
Yeah.
Because there was a big jump. It's almost as when you leave
Upper Guk to Lower Guk?
Yeah, well, that would probably be more apt. I was trying to think of like a zone that had a big gap in the level in the same zone. And all I can think of is like going from bedroom to, say, like the Lord or the King room. That's going to be a massive jump. But imagine that change between like one hallway versus the other. Yeah, that's a big jump.
I'm happy about that though. I want a zone to progress as you progress, as you're leveling and getting higher level by fighting in that zone. The zone is by moving forward, progressing and leveling as you move forward.
But that's the thing. This one wasn't so much a nice, soft, gradual, progression.
It was hardcore in your face. We're gonna make you feel pain.
So clearly, like the mobs before that, super easy. They weren't even having to really coordinate their attacks. Everybody was kind of running off, attacking their own thing, and they were able to burn down 3 or 4 mobs at the same time with no struggle whatsoever. And then, boom, all of a sudden, taking on one mob is all of them on, all hands on deck, and they all have to be coordinated, and they all have to be at the top of their game. and watching, because some of these things had the like a damage shield that would show up.
Yeah, those damage shields, man.
The tanks would literally have to turn off their physical attack, their manual auto
Yeah.
attack, and only use their big spells. And if they weren't doing that, they instantly got wiped. So
what did you think about that? Because I had talked to you about that whenever I brought it up. What did you think about that as being an actual concept of that game?
I thought it was fine. It's already in EverQuest. It's that Enraged or
yeah.
What's the other one? I can't think of it at the moment. That's in raids. Like if you go to Kale, you run into mobs that do that. It just makes the tank not become bored, because a lot of the time as a warrior, I kind of feel my own entertainment with the stream and being able to communicate with you guys and just kind of following along with what all the other people are doing. But as a warrior, it's super simple. And if I wasn't talking to people and being able to participate in some other way, I could see it being incredibly boring, because all it is auto attack, taunt, and kick or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or bash, you know, that's what I'm using on my guy. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. So unless you give me some other way to participate or something to watch out for, something to be aware of that's going to be coming, like flipping the mob, pulling him to the right location because of aggro, or in this case, watching the damage shield to pop.
Yeah, and then you have the warrior who is actually, he is being the meat shield, and he is having to hold the aggro by these one or two abilities, while everyone else is actually doing the physical DPS to the mob through their abilities. But again, because of the DPS, they had to make sure that the dot wasn't that they didn't have any dots on the mob through melee that would affect them being hit by a damage shield even harder. Pop, by the way.
I got 2 already. Jeez, dude, that pop.
Yeah, like that pop right as you go down. I have half mana though, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I got a lot more mana than I did earlier. Plus, I can root these guys.
I'm gonna have to AFK just a second after these.
As far as I know, this dungeon they were in was made for level 10s to 20s. The guide at night asked at the very beginning if a group of level 9s could do this dungeon, and the other guys kind of laughed. They said, yeah, sure, if they want to stay only at the entrance. I don't know if they mean like only at the entrance, like physically not leaving the zone line and not fighting anything else, or if they mean like only killing the entrance mobs, the like 3 or 4 that are guarding, you know, and never going too much further into it than that.
Well, remember that train in Coes? I mean, they had pulled like a ton of rats because probably someone was trying to solo or trying to single pull and ended up getting aggro on everything. We got another ad on me.
Yeah, I'll pull it off.
But this one's almost dead. Slowing it.
They did say that these zones would be bigger. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about the Pantheon stream that they just had tonight and the one that they had a few nights ago with Co. They just said the zones are going to be significantly bigger than the ones in EverQuest, and I think that is kind of a cool concept. It's also kind of like not a great concept, because the bigger it is, the further you get away from the zone line, the less often the trains happen. And I think trains are something that people remember, maybe not fondly, but it is something that made an impact on them. And I kind of like to keep them in there. It keeps everybody on their toes. You never quite know what's coming to the zone line. And
you know that there's going to be those people that pull all the way from the bottom. The real question is there going to be tethering?
Ooh, no, I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. I want them to pull all the way to the zone and kill everybody because of the fact that you weren't paying attention or you didn't get your CC or whatever it was to keep them from coming at you.
Yeah, somebody runs. That happened tonight. Like I said, there was a GM that anytime something went bad, somebody mentioned that maybe they should run to the other group, and every time something went bad, he would do that. He'd run like 12 mobs to the other group, kind of as like a joke, like, oh, here's a gift, and then everybody dies. I think they were rezzing them, but I think they were trolling them a little bit too.
I'll be right back.
Oh, there we go. We got another pop here. We're going to take this guy on full bore with no slows whatsoever. I do like the animations they had as well. I think there might be a little bit too many of them, in my opinion. Games that are overly graphic in the sense that they throw too many spells into it. The Japanese games tend to do this when it comes to their JRPGs, especially when they give items a shiny illusion to them, like flaming swords and big feathers that glow, and mounts that sprinkle unicorn and rainbow dust behind them. And then you put 400 people all with those types of items in one zone, and it's really, really hard to look at the screen. So I'm kind of hoping that they dial down the graphics on the spells just for the lower levels, and then once you get into the higher levels, kind of like EverQuest, they reward you with better graphics, and I don't know, just something to say you kind of earned that. And then if you don't like it, I'm sure in options, just like you can in this one, you can lower the graphical intensity and get less of that. But I don't know, it's an interesting concept right now. Just like you guys are saying, really, really want to get into it and try it out for ourselves. Hopefully soon, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be another 6, 7, 8 months probably before they open it up to beta, if that. Maybe alpha. Alpha might be able to get in there a little bit sooner, but I doubt it. As far as the different races go, they really haven't shown where they start. The human city is the only thing they've built so far that they have, the players have access to on the streams. It looks pretty cool from the outside. Again, they really haven't shown it too much on the inside. They do have a lot of fast travel to get to the dungeons. I'm not a huge fan of that, but they did say they were going to remove those. So at some point, they may add mounts. That did sound like a thing that they were going to put in there. I know me and Srcyer were talking about this exact thing earlier, whether we wanted them in there and whether we liked them in video games. I think Srcyer came down on the side that he did not mind them too terribly much. We got to repop.
Which that?
The mounts in video games, you weren't too fond of them, but you also didn't hate them either.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like EverQuest take on the mounts, especially with the idea of, oh, you're sitting on a horse. This means that you automatically regenerate. I think whenever you're fighting in a battle, especially in a dungeon, you shouldn't be on your mount.
Right. Well, they did try to offset that in original EverQuest by making them hard to get around on. This massive, this massive lizard that didn't stop on a dime. Actually, he would go a little bit further than you wanted him to. So you might fall off the ledge every once in a while. And he was fat, so trying to go upstairs or trying to have like 6 of those people in a room. So usually casters were the only ones allowed to do it, and they had to go stick themselves like half in a corner.
Yeah.
So there was still a downside, that give and take, but I see what you're saying with like EverQuest 2. There was very, very take, and it was pretty much all just give. Small little mounts that look like carpets. It was all just look categories.
Yep.
They even did the upside down Star Trek Enterprise. Did you ever get any of those?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Yeah, they started giving those out for their special days, the different holiday events that they would have from time to time. Hoping when they stay away from that as much as possible. I like the medium transports. We talked about this again earlier. Any of like the hot air balloons, the boats, those are medium transports to me because they get you to where you're going, but they do so in a rather slow manner, still faster than otherwise would be on foot, if it's even at all possible to get there on foot. Which is something they might put into this one. They haven't specified. Have you heard that, Srcyer, if the continents are all going to be connected to each other? Or if you will have to take some type of
I mean, there are maps already of what the continent is supposed to look like. And it looks like it's 2 separate continents.
Yeah, but they haven't specified how you get between those, right?
No. I hope boats.
You don't want a hot air balloon? Like a hot air balloon instead of a
no,
boat
I
ride?
think that's too easy.
Well, no, it takes just as long as the boat would.
Well, yeah, that's true, but they'll probably have two hot air balloons. One that's on one side, one that's on the other, and they're just going back and forth between each other. I want a boat that has to go from one place to another, and that same boat has to come all the way back.
You can do the same thing with the hot air balloon. You can have like just one that goes there and then has to come back, has to refuel. The air in the hot air balloon starts deflating as time goes on, and you know, obviously you might have to defend it from creatures that are trying to get in there and steal those value. I don't know. You could do so many things with making those like mini quests and mini events that maybe they don't happen every single time, but when they do happen, people want to participate. Oh, those open events that they used to have in Destiny. Wow, this guy hit hard, man. What is that? 27 points? Nice.
Yeah, he hurt you a little bit.
Nice little crit hit there. I'm AC Gamer Emissary, and we're talking about Pantheon and the things that they might add, the things they might not add into the game. They haven't really specified anything about the fast transports, whether it's going to be mounts or, you know, the traditional boats or even the faster transport, which is like stones that you can click on that instantly gets you there. They do have a few of those in the game right now just to get you to the dungeons, and that's, I think, solely for the purpose of testing them out. You know, they don't really want to make you run there every single time. If the main goal right now is just for you to see if they work, find the glitches, which they had plenty of, but they were aware of most of them. The mobs getting caught in the wall, the health bar not quite showing up when it needs to, the ability to spawn into the game and be inside like God mode was something that happened at the very beginning of his stream. He couldn't get out of it, actually, so he was able to like fly up wherever he wanted to, far away from his body. So his body's in one location, and I guess his mind is in another. So there's no chance of him getting attacked by a mob other than, you know, where his body is located.
You know, there was one thing that I really liked in Ko's video, and again, that's mainly because Ko is looking at everything and trying to get as many questions as he can during the time. But one thing he didn't bring up, but you could see that he was happy about, is where he was. They were at the door, or they're clearing to the door, and then he looks down and he sees that he can see the mobs through the bricks in the floor that are on the second or on the lower level.
Right, that whole gnome thing where you poke your head through a wall. I think that's, you know, whether they want to omit it or not, no matter what you do, you're not getting rid of all those bugs, right?
Well, no, it wasn't a bug. It was that they purposely made it so that the floor had bricks that were missing, so you could see the mobs that were below.
Oh, okay, so he wasn't sticking his head through like a gnome vision.
No, he was looking through. He was looking down at the floor for something, and then the next thing you see is that you can see this mob through this brick that isn't there, and then all the other bricks are around it, and you can see him looking at the mob, clicking on it, and then he gives one of those big grins that he does, and then like nods. Yeah.
Right. That's kind of like the first reaction you have when you're going through Fallout 4 for the first time, and you can see through the walls, like the little cracks in there, and you can actually shoot through them, which is something you shouldn't be able to do in the old days. Yeah, like you might be able to see through the wall, but it's an invisible force field or barrier that you can't quite shoot through. Nowadays you can. Like the graphics have finally gotten where we always wanted them to be, so that's pretty funny. He had like that silent, you know, smile for something that we all kind of really wish that we could have had back in the day.
Yep.
But I think that's the hope of what this game is supposedly or hopefully going to be for most of us, those that still like the more, you know, player-driven, community-driven, slower type of gameplay. I don't really like to use the word hardcore because there definitely are, you know, a lot more difficult games out there that penalize you for one death. You lose your character completely. It's really, really horrible.
I mean, yeah, completely yes. But for this game, they did say that you are going to have to do corpse recovers, which I think is amazing. And they also said that they're going to you'll be able to give consent to have someone pull your corpse.
Which was a little bugged. It was a little bugged tonight. He tried pulling his corpse a few times. It didn't quite work.
It was the same for on Ko's stream as well.
They did say that they are not quite sure yet whether it's going to be a penalty of experience debt or lost a level if you go too far.
Yeah.
So that could I kind of hope they do the loss of level, because who does not know a classic story of somebody either falling asleep, getting too drunk, you know, something happening, and they have to go AFK, or they just go AFK, period. And when they come back, their tune's like 4 levels lower than it's supposed to be. Getting trapped underneath the dragon, I think, was everybody's horror nightmare scenario. And being bound there for some weird reason. Like, why would you bind there? I don't know, but apparently it's a thing that some people did. If you want to pull it back, the other one's rooted.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know which one was rooted. Okay. But he is not moving. Why not?
We'll switch over. Yeah, so I hope they keep that in there. I hope the loss of level is a thing. But people are already...
Loss of experience with the ability to lose level if you are low on experience.
But people were already asking in stream, they were wondering if you could downgrade yourself with better equipment on, like if there's going to be a level cap. So people are already wanting to like game the system by like wrecking people's faces that they probably shouldn't be, or getting loot. Now, Everquest did have a thing on the mobs themselves that stopped high-level people from coming into the zone. They haven't specified if that's going to be in there. And the way it worked with Everquest 2 is if you could not get experience off the mob, you couldn't get any loot off the mob either. So coming in and killing that name will get you absolutely nothing if you were not legitly supposed to be in that zone. And that was to keep people from trolling a zone, from camping it solely based off of the loot alone. They didn't really need it because the game was just instances anyways. So
I think if they do anything like that, I think it needs to be within 10 levels or something like that. Because what if you get to a point and you say, hey, I didn't get this spell, and I've heard that it may drop in this location, but I'm too high for that zone now. And if they go the route of, say, spells being no drop or something along those lines, then am I going to be able to get that spell, or have I out-leveled the ability to get it? That kind of thing.
Like, again, they haven't specified that they're ever going to initialize a feature upon, you know, you not being able to get the loot. I hope they don't put that in there. I hope they keep it as classic as possible, so that even high levels can go there and just camp something for days if it's something they want. But if they do, then they're going to have to introduce the same thing that Everquest did, which is to put a mentor system so that you can downgrade your own level. Which, again,
I don't want that.
Negates the whole point of having that system in place. But like you said, there's going to be situations where you're going to have to be able to get in there to get that no-trade gear if there's no trade gear in the game. And they have to have the ability to get it somehow.
Yeah.
So, I just don't want that. I want the high levels in there camping the AC for those beautiful pants that they can get off of it, or the sleeves. I want the high levels constantly taking the best gear in the game for themselves and selling it at a high price, because it makes those, as crazy as it sounds, it makes those items, you know, a commodity. It makes it where that camp is something that you go after whenever it opens, no matter what else you had on your agenda. Oh, the FBSS is open. Let's go camp that tonight, because we rarely get a chance to do it, rather than, oh, that's open whenever we feel like it. It gives you, like, certain camps that are just rare. And that's kind of cool, because now not only is the loot rare, but your experience in that camp is rare. And that's something that can be, you know, appreciated, and something that can be exploited all at the exact same time. And it's the give and take of Everquest, which is something that I greatly enjoy. But maybe you guys down there watching have a different opinion. If you guys love or hate the fact that high levels can camp low-level gear, let me know what you think. I think levels are earned, and once you earn them, does it really matter on which tune you give the loot to, or who gets the money? You earn the right to get to level 50, and what you do with that, I think, is up to you. But I definitely know not everybody agrees with that. Some people hate. They used to hate them so much, twinks, back in the day.
Yeah,
it was.
They still do.
Do they?
Some people do.
I think on P99, everybody's a little bit of a twink. Your first tune, obviously not so much, but people will run up to you if you were brand new to the game and be like, "Here, It's the second to
Yeah.
best item in the game. No. By the way, here's the best item in the game for you, just because I had an extra one. You know.
Yep. I mean, that is one of the cool things, and what that does is it builds a community of players who want to stay and play the game.
Yeah, it gives you a great experience right off the bat.
Yep.
But you do got those other ones. We had maybe one or two the whole time we've been playing the last couple of years that have not been the nicest people in the world, which I could not say the same on live. Like two people in the last 5 minutes maybe is what I would have said back then.
I've ran into my fair share of craziness.
Just like bonkers, man. Like,
on live.
Can you imagine if you get into Pantheon what it's going to be like? It's going to be bonkers again.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be contested mobs, and you're going to have guilds that are raiding pop.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, it's going to be different to try out another MMO with a completely different community. Although from what it sounds like, there are going to be several guilds in that game that are coming over from P99. So we could just hang out with those people and we'll know that we're safe, right?
I'm probably, I mean, you know, I'm probably going to end up trying to get into a raid guild because I do want to see that whole game. I want to see everything that's available and have access to see every mob in the game. And that's something that with Everquest I did on live, but I haven't done that here yet. I mean, I've been in guilds that can see every mob. It just depends on if Aftermath or Awaken is not already neckbearding them.
Right. And I think it's going to be the same over there. The neckbeard thing, the tracking the mobs, it's going to have to be the case. Because it's all, you know, persistent. There are no instances as it stands right now in that game.
I'm at 10 mana, by the way.
All right, so I'm healing up a little bit. There's one off to our right that spawned. We can pull that here in a second, but
yeah,
I'm a big fan of no instances. It sounds like they are as well. They have no plans to put that in there. Hearing them talk about that and the way they put it, as far as, you know, instances sounded like a good idea at the time. It definitely solved a problem that we had as far as overcrowding in a video game and just not being able to do anything for hours, sometimes days on end, just because everything was taken and you didn't want to wait 12 hours to get onto a list. And that's 12 hours to get onto the list, not actually to get into the room.
It's true. I mean, that's still a thing here for like the AC camp. You could be on that list for hours upon hours because of how long it takes for that mob to spawn. Stormfeather is another mob that you have to, if you want to have a chance at that mob, you have to be on for multitude of hours.
Yeah. And even then, you're not guaranteed it.
Sure.
Because with that
if you fall asleep, you only have a certain amount of time before you get a chance that it's yours. I mean, if you're camping it, it's yours. But if you're asleep, that stops being yours in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Somebody's always running by to check it, too.
Oh, yeah. I've sat there and waited for like 4 or 5 hours whenever I wasn't doing anything else.
But then again, you know, fond memories, or memories just the same whether they're fond or not. And then when you get it, it's so much sweeter. You got your Peggy Cloak, you got your funky, whatever it was, the FBSS, which I never got. I really, really wanted one of those. Camped it for like a week straight, literally, guys. All day, every day, for like a pure week. Got so close to winning it a number of times. Got into, I think the last group that I was there with swore that nobody would leave until everybody got a fungi. I think it was like 26 hours later, everybody had gotten a fungi but me, and everybody decided to leave. So that was, after that, I never went back to that room. I was done with it. I was like, I'm not gonna win this. I'm not getting any loot while I'm in here. I'm not making any money. I could have bought myself a FBSS if I had just gone and, you know, killed guards or something for that amount of time. So,
yep.
Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it is not. I had a very easy time getting golden Ifriti boots. So, you know, when you win some, you lose some on that.
I won 3 pairs in a row. Well, 3 pair in 3 days.
Of what, the FBSS?
No,
Golden
the
Freddy?
Golden Freddy boots.
Yeah, I've had very good luck with those, and just abysmal luck with the FBSS.
Pop Shaman
I don't know if he
on
saw
the.
me. He might have. Yeah, it sounds like he did.
No, no, I pulled him.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see if they have camps like that. You know, something that is memorable, something that makes people work to get there. For the foreseeable future, though, I think is when you go into that game, it's gonna be a lot of exploring, a lot of trying to find out what's there. And I hope by the time the rest of us get into it, the people who didn't sign up to pre-alpha and beta and all the behind-the-scenes stuff, it's not ruined for the people who are coming in because everything is already camped.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering about the whole aspect of that game as far as the non-disclosure agreement. Are we able to record but not upload until, or are they not wanting any pre-alpha uploaded at all, even after release?
That would be a good question. Something we'd have to contact them and ask them once we get in to kind of verify what the parameters of that is, or what they are. Because I would love to be able to record all that and then just like let you guys
Just our ability to learn the game as we're going, and man, get that mob off of him because he's training again.
Well, I have no more mana left. I have mana at the moment, so I thought it was just gonna be one mob. It ended up being two.
Yep, I'm rooting that other mob.
Alright, back this one up then.
Yeah, I have no more mana. I mean, I have 40 mana. I could probably slow him. No, I have to have 60 for it.
Now we'll go ahead and see if we can kill this guy. Just be aware that if the other guy did zone, we have 4 more mobs coming back in just a minute.
But they're low level mobs. They're like
maybe it seemed like
Witch
he brought
Doctor.
2 or 3 of them with him. That would mean they're higher. Wow, this thing is crushing me in my face.
Oh,
it's okay.
Here. Yeah. Okay. Right, we need to get it over here.
Sit over here for a bit.
And if I can get enough mana to slow at least one of them, I'm gonna try to heal you first, though.
No, I'm good. I'll heal myself here in a minute. Let's see. So what about you guys that are watching? What do you think of Pantheon? Are you looking forward to it? Do you feel it's going in the right direction? I think there's been enough videos out in the last few months to kind of give you an idea of where it's going if you've watched them. I think, you know, I'm excited, obviously, but at the same time, I still have reservations about some of the aspects of it.
But, I mean, those reservations are based off of incomplete.
Yeah. Like, just the idea of where they might be going with it. Because even they have said, like, it's not going to be this when it's done. Oh, we got to pop.
Yep. Let me take him.
All right. Kind of likes me. Let me go ahead and root him. Let me heal myself up a little bit.
Yeah, get back over in this corner.
No, I'll jump on there in a second. I mean, once you get enough aggro, plus he's rooted, I can just.
He's already have 30%.
I can sit outside of range. It was the mage that destroyed him for us.
Yep.
Let's see. Do I have any bandages? I doubt it. I don't think I keep very many on this dude.
I can give you 1 heal, but I'm gonna try to get mana for.
Yeah, we'll sit down. I don't trust Brad after Vanguard. What did he do after Vanguard?
It was up because of Vanguard.
Oh, okay. He leaves really quick too, is what I've heard. You know, a lot of people have reservations on whether he's going to stay after the game is actually done or not.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't see why he would leave unless there's something going on in the background that we're just not aware of yet.
I don't know. He may not like money. I don't know. I mean, if
he may not like money, that would be a change for.
I mean, if he leaves, I mean, that's what he's given up as money, or maybe he gets residual due to the fact that he was a co-creator of the game.
Maybe, yeah, he's lending his name to the project.
Yeah.
in essence only. I don't think that's the case. If you can hear him when he's playing the game and how excited he gets about it, I think there's
Yeah.
more there than just a paycheck.
You know, one thing I do love about those videos, I don't know about tonight with the Warrior, but I really, really like that the Warrior and Co's video was a sword and board warrior and not a dual wield warrior.
Yeah, that's true. This one, he was playing a sword and board as well. He wanted a shield, so they gave him a shield. Wasn't a fancy shield. There was one guy there that had a glowing, see-through kind of transparent or translucent shield that looked pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
that's more graphics than substance there, to be honest, because they had really low-level gear and they were getting their faces wiped, but still the graphic alone looked kind of cool. And I do get that the graphics, they said, already look like a several-year-old game, Emissary. I think they made a giant leap forward on their graphics compared to what they were just a few months ago. And
Yep.
they have specified that the graphics will literally be one of the last things they mess with just because they want to make sure the tactics, the strategy, the mechanics of the game are sound before they start messing around with cosmetic things. So I think the graphics have nowhere else but up to go, and they will as they progress through to where they want it to be. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.